today I'm reviewing the Anessa Moisture UV Sunscreen Mild Gel SPF 35. And really quick, I just want to say I purchase all these products with my own money. I'll never waste your time with sponsored ads or videos. So if you want to help support the channel, check out nobsbeauty.com, join Patreon community, or click on the links below. Okay, so this is, I believe, a newer product from Anessa. They come out with a few new sunscreens every year, and this one is a great one for sensitive skin. A lot of their sunscreens are really great, but they tend to have fragrance in them. Some of them have alcohol in them, but this one is great. If you have sensitive skin, this one's a really nice one. It's slightly moisturizing. It's got SPF 35, which is just a little bit above where you want to be on a daily basis. I recommend SPF 30 at least. 50 is great, but 30 on a daily basis. So this one goes a little bit above and beyond that. It's strong UV film, shields skin while staying resistant against sweat and water. Anessa actually has technology where if you sweat a lot, the sunscreen actually gets a little bit stronger. So that's a really nice technology. Shiseido has some really good technologies with some of their products. So I wish a lot of their skincare other than sunscreen didn't have so much fragrance in it, but I don't know. What are you going to do? Okay, so this formula is hypoallergenic, additive-free, fragrance-free, and contains no alcohol, parabens, and mineral oil. So hypoallergenic really doesn't mean that much because it's not really regulated a term. So anyway, my first criteria is packaging and nice squeeze tube bottle. No issues with that. I do like the fact that it's blue. It just is easier to find. It seems like sunscreens like all come in like white or gold packaging. So this baby blue is easy to find. I like the color. It's pretty. Okay. In terms of alcohol, this does not contain any denatured drying types of alcohol. So that's always a good thing, especially for very sensitive or dry skin. This has no fragrance, and it doesn't really even have any scent. A lot of sunscreens have like that sunscreen chemical smell. This does not have that at all. So very nice. The manufacturing location for this one is Japan. So the SPF, I mentioned SPF 35, which is a little bit above where you want to be every day, even days when it's cloudy and things like that. There's some people that on days that they'll check the UV index, and if it says like, if it's like under a 2, they won't wear sunscreen. And I tried doing that method. However, it didn't really work well because it would rain in the morning, so I try not to wear any, but then by like 2 o'clock, here comes the sun. I don't know. So that just technique didn't work for me, but maybe for some people it works well. So, I mean, you can still get UV rays even if the UV level is low, but I don't know. Whatever. To each their own method. If you do that, it's fine with me. I just found in Minnesota it doesn't work very well. Maybe in other climates, maybe in Alaska where it's like dark half the year it works. I don't know. Okay, the UVA protection factor for this one. So this one has a PA with 3 pluses after it, which indicates good average UV protection, UVA protection. Making it a good sunscreen for average days, but days where it's very, very sunny out, you're going to be outside all day, might not be the best protection, but it's still average to okay. For very, very sunny days, this probably won't be my first pick just because the SPF 35, but on just a daily basis, days I'm outside a little bit, it's just fine with me. So the filters used in this one, so we've got a list here. So this one is a hybrid sunscreen, which is organic and inorganic filters, both chemical and mineral filters. So we've got zinc oxide. It's great for broad spectrum protection. It protects against UVB, UVA, UVA1, UVA2. It's probably one of the most used ingredients for sunscreens out there. Very stable, non-irritating, although some people have found it can dry their skin a bit. And then zinc oxide is fine to be used with chemical filters with the exception of avobenzone. I've read a study recently that shows zinc oxide in the presence of avobenzone, it can degrade avobenzone, so you don't want to use those together. Or if you're using, some people ask, or they'll layer like a chemical sunscreen under a mineral sunscreen. You can do that with most things, but just don't. Avobenzone is not one of those to mess with. So then we've got titanium oxide, also UVA, UVB ray blocker, very stable ingredient, very safe. Same thing with titanium dioxide and avobenzone. Tinsorb S, this one is the chemical filter, very photostable filter. It absorbs UVB, UVA rays. really doesn't deteriorate much at all. It's very impressive. And it also does a good job stabilizing other chemical filters. Then we've got Uvinol T150. Very good UVB filter absorber. Protects the entire UVB range. It's also clear, transparent, and has no scent. And then finally we've got Uvinol A+, which is a UVA ray absorber designed for very good UVA coverage, very photostable. And it can be used in pretty much all sunscreens in the world except for the US and Canada. So, I don't know, does Canada have the same issues that the US has? I think there's more available in Canada than there is here, but it sounds like they may have some similar issues. So, okay, in terms of white cast, this has a very, very light white cast. I wouldn't say it's super noticeable. And once you smooth it over skin, it's a little bit noticeable, but not terrible. Let's see. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty darn clear, but it does have a light white cast, probably from obviously the zinc and titanium dioxide, but not as bad as a lot of other sunscreens. So there you go. In terms of the texture, really nice. I do like the gel lotion texture. Smooths over skin really nicely. It sets to kind of a non-sticky finish, which is really nice. And I would say the finish is natural, just on the edge of slightly radiant, almost, but it doesn't look or feel greasy or anything like that. It feels really nice. So I'm using this one today under my foundation. Ease of use. So plays well with other products. I've had no issues with pilling with it at all. Foundation applies really nicely over this. You might want to set with a little bit of powder, just depending on your look, but it's pretty natural finish. I mean, it really isn't very shiny. So there you go. Feels very nice. So. And the one thing, you can also use it on your body as well as your face. This one I've applied on my neck a few times and had no issues with sensitivity, but usually I just use it on my face because, especially this time of year, I usually go with a big jacket on, so, which is like most of the time in Minnesota. Okay, antioxidants and beneficial ingredients. So we've got licorice root in the salt form, which is an anti-inflammatory, skin-soothing ingredient, and apparently it also can help with oil production. Then we've got sodium acetylated hyaluronate, which is a modified version of sodium hyaluronate, which it's claimed to have a better hydration ability and better water attraction ability. Also, apparently soaks a little bit deeper in the skin surface and also less sticky than normal sodium hyaluronate. To be honest, I was kind of surprised this had sodium hyaluronate in here because I noticed this more with sunscreens that contain this, that they have a higher tendency to pill, especially when you've got mineral filters in there. But with this one, I didn't have any issues with it pilling with anything. So maybe that sodium acetylated hyaluronate is the way to go. Then we've got succinoglycan. I don't know, that sounds terrible, but it's a skin conditioning ingredient and also helps prevent products from having a sticky finish. And then vitamin E, which is an antioxidant as well as hydrating ingredient. So we've got some beneficial ingredients, not a whole ton. And I've been excited to see a sunscreen without a hyaluronic acid derivative, but I don't know. Okay, in terms of acneogenic ingredients with this one, we've got dimethicone. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, in terms of acneogenic ingredients with this one, we've got dimethicone, stearic acid, and vitamin E. So not a very long list, but a few in there. Most people probably won't have any issues. I haven't had any issues with this one. In terms of animal testing, it can be tricky to find out some of these K-Beauty and J-Beauty brands. So Anessa sunscreens are produced and sold in Japan, and they're not animal tested there. However, the ones made for exporting into China are animal tested. However, there's currently some changes going on, so things might be changing soon. But technically, because they're going into China, they're not cruelty-free. But if this regulation does change the way it sounds like it might be changing, they might technically be cruelty-free soon because China's making changes on this frequently. So technically not cruelty-free, but kind of cruelty-free. So in terms of performance, I really like this one. I've used this. I've never got red, tan, no freckles, no issues with pigmentation. Sometimes if you use a sunscreen that's terrible and you have pigmentation issues, you'll go out and you'll come back and you won't be tan or red, but the pigmentation will be much more noticeable. I didn't have any issues with that at all. Skin doesn't feel dry after using it. So I think some of the moisturizing claims are a little over the top with the ingredients, but it doesn't make my skin feel dry when I wash it off, which is amazing because there's a lot of sunscreens that just make my skin, especially chemical ones, that after you wash it off, your skin feels a little bit dry or sensitive. I don't have any issues with that at all. It's pretty easy to remove this one. You can remove it with regular soap, and I tend to use a makeup remover just in case. Towards the end of the day after using this, my skin might look a touch shiny, but not greasy, and it never has accentuated any dry patches. So this one performs really nicely. I'm very happy with it. The price, so this is the full size, which is 90 milliliters, 3.16 ounces, which is a lot larger than a lot of other sunscreens. Retails for around $36, just depends on where you pick it up from. Yes Style has sales all the time, so it might be worth watching it. I noticed a lot of sunscreens on Jolcy, Yes Style, Style Korean, Style Vana. A lot of sunscreens are going out of stock right now, so it seems like a lot of them are. This one was still in stock when I checked this morning, but maybe it's that time of year. I noticed a ton of them are out of stock, so if you're looking for sunscreens, the sooner you pick them up, the better, because it just feels like maybe with summer coming here, a lot of people are looking, and there's not a lot of sunscreens out from J Beauty or K Beauty right now, because a lot of them have found to have issues. So if you're thinking about picking them up, do so sooner rather than later, just because of that. So overall, with a 15 being a perfect score, I gave this one a 12. Really enjoy this one. Very nice sunscreen, especially if you have sensitive skin or dry skin. I'm really enjoying hybrid sunscreens. They just seem to have the best of both worlds. And then sometimes you get the white cast, but sometimes it's just nice to have a combination of filters, and then, you know, you've got your bases kind of covered, especially with some of these other issues. So anyway, really enjoyed this one. I'm interested in hearing from you guys if you've had a chance to check this one out yet or not, and if you have, what your thoughts are. So leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you so much.